What's good, fam? I.O.B.A. I'm T.C. So check it out. A.D.O.S. All right. Talk a little bit more about that today. You know, back when I was up in upstate New York, I used to work out with a lot of Italians and a lot of Polish guys and stuff like that, right? And every once in a while we lifting our weights and whatever, the conversation would get around to politics and shit like that, right? And equality and things of that nature, because they always knew I was what they would consider a militant and kind of vocal when it came to these types of things. I was always like that. I gave my first um, I don't want to call it political speech, but my first one, my first talk on this issue back when I was about 12. All right, but anyway, and one of the things they used to say was the problem with black people, the problem with blacks is that we don't stick together, that we would rather hang out and be accepted by any other group other than our own, and that's our problem. We don't stand up for one another. Okay, so now there was a lot of truth to that, because a lot of times when you get three black people together, we arguing about some dumb shit. Right? It's like It's like now, our so-called leaders, I did a video on this a while back, our so-called leaders spend too much time arguing and going back and forth at each other instead of keeping that shit, behind closed doors. There's video up on it about this one arguing and beefing with that one. But I digress on that. So we got a position, we got an opportunity now, right, to show everybody that we can and do cooperate well with one another. And that to me is part of what A.D.O.S is. A.D.O.S is American Descendants of Slaves, all right, foundational black Americans. We are doing what I thought we should have did a long time ago, which is circling our wagons, turning inward, and looking out for our own best interests, and not voting for candidates who don't put those interests out front. That's why Kamala Harris and Cory Booker and people like that are getting such a hard time, because they cannot articulate what it is they intend to do to really secure the black vote. And all of that rainbow coalition, a rising tide lifts all boats bullshit ain't working this time, okay? And it just ain't about criminal reform. I said that before too. It ain't about fucking criminal reform, because believe it or not, most of us aren't fucking criminals. A lot of what we do, and some of the ways we live have been criminalized, but we're not fucking criminals, okay? And we work just as hard as everybody else, just as long, and we do it for a lot less. And we were owned as property. Those are the black people who are represented by A.D.O.S. And so now we're sticking together. Now we're forming a movement, and it's not going anywhere. So you can forget that bullshit about it's gonna fade. It ain't gonna fade. It's gonna be long after I'm gone and Kamala Harris is gone and all of the rest of them are gone. But we have to do this. It's the only way to make ourselves understood and felt politically. It's the only way to separate ourselves from the black Africans and the black Caribbeans and the black Europeans that come here who have a head start. What head start? A lot of them claim they ain't got no head start, but here's the head start. They come here fully educated a lot of times, fully educated. They come here with the tools they need to succeed already in their hands. They haven't been hobbled. They haven't been. They haven't been hobbled. They haven't been saddled with a bunch of college debt that they ain't never going to be able to repay to get a degree that they ain't never going to use. They ain't got all that shit around their neck. They really don't, and a lot of them don't seem to want to accept that as true, because they feel like they got black skin just like I do. But no, I'm gonna tell you something. White people talk to my Caribbean wife a lot different than they do me. My wife is from Trinidad. But my wife is woke, but I had to wake her up. They don't talk to her the way they talk to me. They feel like they can say anything to my wife, well, just about anything to my wife because she'll check them, but they feel like they can speak more freely to her than they can to me because I'm a black American and I got that don't fuck with me look in my face. But they hear her accent and think, oh, she not one of the regular blacks. She don't think like they do. And so they open up and start telling her shit. Telling her shit I already know, but they start telling her shit. But anyway, that is why we need A.D.O.S. That is why we need to separate ourselves and let people know that we, A.D.O.S., American descendants of slaves, we are the majority group of black people. And like I said about 10 videos back, we really are controlling these elections. Because you're not, if you're a Democrat anyway, you're not going to get that nomination without the black vote. And I said before, and I say it again, we fully prepare for another 4 years of Donald Trump because the shit Donald Trump doing been happening to us for decades. It's just now more in your face, and it's causing us to unify. So I like it. I like it. I like the fact that we're being forced to unify. I like the fact that we're forced to see who our real enemy is. And it's just, and it's everybody. And one more thing before I close out, because I got a fucking appointment today. Miss me with that black-brown alliance bullshit. I don't talk a lot about that, but listen, ain't no such thing. It's like motherfucking leprechauns and Santa Claus. Ain't no such thing. It's nice to think about and it's nice and fun to talk about, but ain't no black-brown alliance. Them goddamn Hispanics. Them Hispanics don't give a fuck about us no more than they can use us to forward their own agenda. If I hear somebody else say people of color one more time, I think I'm going to choke their fucking tongue out. No, I'm not, but you get my point. So A.D.O.S. is real. It ain't going nowhere. Get used to it. We need it. I'm going to keep talking about the shit. I don't know about nobody else. But I'm going to keep talking about the shit. But I've been talking about it for a long time. Anyway, that's it for now, y'all. I got to go. T.C. And I'm out.